Aloha, and welcome back to the Hawaii Travel Made Easy podcast, your go-to resource for planning the ultimate island getaway. I'm Marcie, your resident Hawaii travel expert, and after more than 40 trips to the islands, yes, really, I'm here to help you plan a honeymoon that's as magical as your wedding day. Today, we're jumping into one of my favorite topics, honeymoons in Hawaii. After all the stress of wedding planning, this is your time to kick back, soak up the aloha vibes, and create unforgettable memories with your new spouse. But here's the thing. Even in paradise, a few common planning mistakes can sneak in and turn that romantic trip into something a little less dreamy. So, in this episode, I'm breaking down the top mistakes couples make on their Hawaii honeymoon and how you can avoid them with just a little know-how and prep. So, grab a tropical drink, cozy up with your favorite travel buddy, and let's get you one step closer to the honeymoon you've been dreaming of. All right, let's kick things off with a big one, not booking early enough. I get it, you've just wrapped up planning a wedding, and the idea of jumping straight into planning a honeymoon can feel a little overwhelming. But Hawaii is one of the most popular honeymoon destinations in the world, and the best spots, they book up fast. If you're dreaming of staying at one of those iconic honeymoon resorts, like the Grand Wailea on Maui, the Four Seasons Oahu at Ko'olina, or Turtle Bay Resort up on Oahu's North Shore, you'll want to book those as early as possible, ideally 6 to 9 months out. These resorts are incredibly romantic and in high demand, especially during peak honeymoon seasons like summer or over the holidays. And it's not just the hotels. Those magical honeymoon experiences like sunset cruises, helicopter tours over the Nepali coast, or private snorkel trips to Molokini Crater, these are super limited and fill up quickly. Even things like a couples massage overlooking the ocean or a beachfront dinner at sunset, think Mama's Fish House on Maui or One Hotel Hanalei on Kauai, can require reservations weeks or even months ahead of time. Plus, booking early can actually score you some extra perks. Many resorts offer honeymoon packages with bonuses like room upgrades, a bottle of bubbly waiting in your room, or even a complimentary spa treatment. If you wait too long, those deals might be gone, and the prices probably way higher. And let's talk about flights for a second. The closer you get to your dates, the more expensive and limited your options become. Booking early means you can snag those ideal flight times, avoid the long layovers, and start your honeymoon feeling relaxed, not frazzled. So my pro tip is if you have your heart set on a luxury resort or bucket list activity, aim to book at least 6 to 9 months in advance. It gives you better pricing, more availability, and helps you budget by spreading out payments instead of dropping a ton of money all at once. All right, mistake number 2 is a big one. Overbooking your honeymoon. I totally get the urge. You've just landed in paradise and there's so much to see and do, and it's your honeymoon. You want to make every moment count. But here's the thing. Trying to squeeze every activity into your itinerary, that's a fast track to burnout. Hawaii isn't a place you want to rush through. And after months of wedding planning and probably not enough sleep, you deserve to slow down and actually enjoy being in the moment with your new spouse. Instead of trying to hike Diamond Head, visit Pearl Harbor, and go to Luau all in the same day, think about pacing yourself. Try picking one standout activity per day, like snorkeling at Molokini Crater on Maui or horseback riding at Kualoa Ranch on Oahu. And then give yourselves plenty of breathing room just to relax. For example, if you go on a whale watching tour in the morning, spend the afternoon laying on Kanapali Beach or enjoying a couples massage. Or after an epic helicopter ride over to the Nepali coast, why not grab poke bowls and watch the sunset on the beach? No shoes, no stress. Another bonus of not overscheduling, you'll have time for those spontaneous moments that often end up being the highlight of your trip, like stumbling on a cute local cafe, pulling over at a scenic lookout you didn't expect, or spending hours at a farmer's market you just happened to pass. Your honeymoon should feel dreamy, not like a race. So give yourselves the gift of space. Space to breathe, to nap, to explore slowly and be fully present with each other. My pro tip is to stick to one main activity per day and leave the rest of your time open for beach naps, impromptu adventures, or just soaking in those island vibes. All right, let's talk about a super common honeymoon mistake, not renting a car. I know. At first, skipping the rental might seem easier. You're thinking, we'll just Uber or book a couple of tours, it'll be fine. But here's the thing. Unless you're spending your entire honeymoon in Waikiki, relying on rideshares or shuttles is going to seriously limit your experience. Hawaii is meant to be explored, and some of the most romantic, breathtaking, totally unforgettable places They're the ones you'll never reach unless you've got your own wheels. On Maui, a rental car means you can take your time on the road to Hana, stopping wherever the mood strikes. Maybe at a secret waterfall, a roadside stand selling fresh banana bread, or a quiet little beach like Hamoa Beach where you can set up a little picnic just for two. It's a kind of flexibility that's hard to come by on a group tour. On Kauai, having a car means you can head out to Waimea Canyon for a sunrise hike, or take a slow, scenic drive to Hanalei, stopping at lookouts and hidden beaches along the way. No tour bus schedule, no rush, just you two and the open road. And on the Big Island, let's be honest, you'll need a car. The island is massive, and some of the most memorable moments, like watching the stars from the summit of Mauna Kea or catching lava glowing after dark at Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, aren't doable without your own transportation. And on Oahu, where there's more public transit, I recommend getting a car for at least a couple of days. It lets you escape the crowds of Waikiki and explore gems like Lanikai Beach, or enjoy a romantic drive up the North Shore, where you can stop for shrimp trucks, beach hop, or just chase the sunset. And let's not forget date night. With a car, you can venture out to those truly special restaurants, like Mama's Fish House on Maui, Merriman's on the Big Island, or any other tucked away spot that feels a little more just us. Bottom line, a rental car gives you freedom to explore, to go slow, to chase adventures, or just turn off the GPS and get lost together, but in the good way. My pro tip, even if you don't rent for your whole trip, consider getting a car for a few days so you can explore at your own pace and discover those off-the-beaten-path honeymoon moments that make your trip extra special. Okay, this next mistake is one I see all the time, especially with honeymooners. Sticking to the tourist areas and never venturing beyond your resort bubble. Now, don't get me wrong, places like Waikiki on Oahu or Ka'anapali on Maui are gorgeous. They've got beautiful beaches, walkable shopping, and amazing restaurants. But they're also busy, packed with other tourists, and sometimes lack that quiet, romantic vibe you might be craving on your honeymoon. If you really want to tap into that magical side of Hawaii, the kind that makes you feel like the only two people on the planet, you've got to get off the beaten path, even just for a day or two. Let's say you're on Oahu. Instead of spending every day at Waikiki Beach, take a little road trip to Haleiwa on the North Shore. You can stroll through local art galleries, grab a plate of garlic shrimp from Giovanni's, and catch a dreamy sunset at Sunset Beach. It's so much more laid back and feels worlds away from the high-rise energy of Waikiki. On Maui, I always recommend a drive to Upcountry. Explore the charming towns of Makavao or Kula, visit a lavender farm, sip local wine or coffee, and have lunch at a cozy cafe tucked into the hills. It's peaceful, scenic, and way more personal than your resort pool. The Big Island is full of those hidden gems too, like Waimea, with its Hawaiian cowboy vibe, or Hawi, a small little town with art galleries, boutique shops, and farm-to-table food. And if you're up for an adventure, hike down to Makalawena Beach. You might find that you've got a slice of paradise all to yourself. On Kauai, head to Hanapepe, often called the island's biggest little town. It's full of charm, art galleries, and boutique shops, and it's the perfect place to wander hand in hand on a lazy afternoon. And if you want a jaw-dropping beach experience, take the drive out to Polihale State Park. It's remote and rugged, but the sunsets there, unreal. And don't underestimate the romance of a sunrise hike. Trails like Waihee Ridge on Maui or Makapu'u Lighthouse Trail on Oahu offer incredible views without the crazy crowds. And you'll feel like you've discovered a secret corner of Hawaii all on your own. My pro tip is to make space in your honeymoon for a little exploration. Plan at least 1 or 2 days to get out of the main tourist zones and experience the local side of Hawaii. You'll be so glad you did. Okay, let's be real. Hawaii is not a budget destination, and this next mistake can sneak up on honeymooners fast. Underestimating how much things actually cost. When you're in vacation mode, and especially honeymoon mode, it's so easy to say yes to everything. The oceanfront dinner at Mama's Fish House on Maui? Absolutely dreamy, but it can run at more than $200 for 2 people, especially if you're adding cocktails, dessert, and maybe a celebratory glass of champagne. Worth it? Probably, but only if it's part of your plan. And then there's those big ticket activities, helicopter tours over Kauai's Nepali coast, private catamaran sails, or couples massages at luxury spas like the spa at the Grand Wailea. These are incredible experiences, but they can add up really quickly if you haven't built them into your budget. Even the little things can catch you off guard. A cocktail by the pool here, a few snacks from the resort convenience store there, and suddenly you're wondering where half your spending money went. And let's not forget the daily resort fees. Some places charge anywhere from $30 to $60 a night, not including parking, which can be another $40 or $50 per day at higher-end resorts. And then there's souvenirs. And I'm not talking about fridge magnets. I'm talking custom jewelry, handmade koa wood gifts, or a beautiful keepsake to remember your trip by. These can be totally worth it as long as you plan for them. And if you're island hopping, make sure you factor in inter-island flights, baggage fees, extra car rentals, and time. Those quick hops between islands aren't always as cheap or as easy as they sound. The key here isn't to avoid splurging. Hey, it's your honeymoon. You should treat yourselves. But you also want to avoid that post-trip, whoa, what just happened to our bank account feeling? My pro tip is to sit down before your trip and create a realistic budget. Prioritize the experiences that matter most to you as a couple. Maybe it's a helicopter tour, or maybe it's a luxe dinner, and set aside a little cushion for spontaneous splurges. That way, you can fully enjoy the moment without stressing about the price tag later. Okay, let's talk about one of the most common and heartbreaking honeymoon mistakes: not making reservations in advance for the really special stuff. Look, when you're on your honeymoon, you want those extra romantic, unforgettable moments, right? Sunset dinners, oceanfront massages, private sails. But here's the thing. Those experiences book up fast, especially in a place as popular as Hawaii. For example, the old Lahaina Luau on Maui is a favorite for honeymooners because of its beautiful setting, amazing storytelling, and cozy feel. But if you wait until the week of your trip, there's a good chance it'll be totally sold out. Same goes for top dining spots like Merriman's in Kapalua or Roy's Waikiki, especially if you're hoping for a primetime sunset table. And let's talk spa days, because hello, honeymoon. If you're dreaming of a couple's massage by the ocean, like the ones at Spa Halekulani on Oahu or Spa Without Walls at the Fairmont Orchid on the Big Island, you'll want to reserve well ahead of time, sometimes weeks, even months in advance. These are the kinds of things people book specifically for anniversaries, proposals, honeymoons, you name it. So availability goes fast. The same goes for exclusive excursions like private sunset sails, whale-watching cruises during winter, or helicopter tours with champagne toasts. These tours are designed to be intimate, which is amazing for you, but it also means spots are limited. And it's not just the big stuff. Even things like sunrise at Haleakala on Maui or permits to hike the Kalalau Trail on Kauai require advanced reservations. And trust me, you don't want to be scrambling at the last minute trying to snag a permit for something you've been dreaming about for months. Oh, and even smaller touches, like booking a poolside cabana for the day or arranging a private surf lesson for 2 on Waikiki Beach. Totally worth reserving early. You'll thank yourself later when you're sipping a Mai Tai in your shaded cabana, watching the world go by. So my pro tip is to plan ahead for anything you consider a must-do, whether it's a fancy dinner, a spa day, or a bucket list tour. Try to book at least a month in advance, or even earlier if you're traveling during peak season or around holidays. It takes the pressure off and ensures those once-in-a-lifetime moments actually happen. Okay, let's talk about one of the easiest ways to add a little magic to your honeymoon. Simply telling people it's your honeymoon. Seriously, don't be shy about it. Hawaii is one of the most romantic places on earth, and locals and businesses love to help couples celebrate. Just mentioning that you're on your honeymoon can lead to all kinds of amazing surprises and thoughtful touches that take your trip to the next level. At resorts like the Fairmont Kealani on Maui, honeymooners are often welcomed with complimentary champagne, chocolates, or even flower petals sprinkled on the bed. It's those small gestures that instantly make you feel like you're in honeymoon paradise. Dining out? Absolutely mention it when you make your reservation. Places like Mama's Fish House on Maui or Orchids at Halekulani in Waikiki are known to surprise honeymooners with a special dessert, a printed keepsake menu, or the best seat in the house for sunset views. You don't have to ask for anything. Just letting them know you're celebrating is often enough. Even on tours and excursions, it pays to share the occasion. Blue Hawaiian Helicopters, for example, sometimes makes a point to seat honeymooners together up front for the most breathtaking views. Some luau's may greet you with a fragrant fresh flower lei, bump you to better seats, or even give you a sweet little shout out during the show. And if you're booking a couples massage, definitely mention your honeymoon. Resorts like the Four Seasons Hualalai or the Grand Hyatt Kauai have been known to throw in extras like aromatherapy upgrades, longer relaxation time, or chilled champagne after your treatment, just because you're celebrating. Even smaller places like boutique hotels and B&Bs, shout out to Holualoa Inn on the Big Island, may surprise you with fresh flowers, locally made treats, or even breakfast in bed. It's the aloha spirit in action. Oh, and one more fun tip. Rental car companies sometimes upgrade honeymooners to a convertible or luxury car, which makes scenic drives like the road to Hana or a cruise along Oahu's North Shore feel that much more special. My pro tip, always add a honeymoon note when making reservations, and then mention it again at check-in or when you arrive. You never know what kind of sweet surprises are waiting for you. And hey, it's your honeymoon. If there's ever a time to be celebrated, this is it. All right, let's talk about something that catches a lot of honeymooners off guard in Hawaii. How long it actually takes to get from one place to another. On a map, everything looks pretty close, but once you're on the road, it's a different story, especially if you're dreaming of a relaxing, stress-free trip. Take Oahu, for example. Driving from Waikiki to the North Shore might seem like no big deal, just a quick little road trip, right? But throw in some traffic, especially on weekends or during surf season, and suddenly you're spending over an hour or more in the car just to get to Waimea Bay or Sunset Beach. Not exactly the vibe you want when you're supposed to be sipping pina coladas by noon. Maui is another sneaky one. The road to Hana? Gorgeous, iconic, a must-do. But even though it's only 52 miles, it takes at least 3 hours one way. And that's without all the scenic stops, which, let's be honest, you're definitely going to make. I've seen couples try to squeeze in a sunrise trip to Haleakala, followed by a spa appointment in Wailea the same afternoon, and hey, it's just too much. You'll end up rushing, stressing, and missing the point of a relaxing honeymoon. Then there's the Big Island, which, spoiler alert, is huge. Driving from Kona to Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, that's more than 2 hours one way. So what seems like a quick day trip can easily turn into a full day journey if you're not careful. And don't get me started on the traffic near Kailua Kona during sunset or big events. It's beautiful, but it moves slow. Even Kauai, which can feel super chill and low-key, has its own traffic hotspots, like near Kapa'a, that can slow you down when you're trying to get to places like Wailua Falls or Ke'e Beach. Add in one-lane bridges and winding coastal roads, and suddenly you're behind schedule for that romantic dinner you were looking forward to. So, how do you avoid turning your honeymoon into a race against the clock? Group your activities by region. Spend one day on Maui's west side, hitting up Ka'anapali and Napili. Dedicate another day to Hana or Upcountry. On Oahu, break it down into days for Honolulu, Windward Oahu, and the North Shore. Trust me, it makes a huge difference. So, my pro tip, build in some wiggle room. Use Google Maps or a local traffic app to get a realistic sense of drive times and give yourself extra buffer between activities. You'll thank yourself when you spot a roadside fruit stand or a secret beach and actually have time to stop and enjoy it. Because honestly, some of the best moments in Hawaii are the unplanned ones, and having a little flexibility in your schedule makes it way easier to say yes to whatever magic the islands throw your way. Okay, let's be real. It's super easy to get swept up by the dreamy beaches, oceanfront pools, and fancy cocktails when you're on your honeymoon in Hawaii. And don't get me wrong, you should totally enjoy all of that. But one of the biggest missed opportunities I see is couples skipping over Hawaii's incredible cultural experiences. And those are often the moments that stick with you the most. Take a luau, for example. Not just any luau, but an authentic one, like Old Lahaina luau on Maui or Toa luau on Oahu. It's not just about the food, though yes, the kalua pork is amazing. It's about the stories, the music, the hula, the history. You're literally watching Hawaiian culture unfold in front of you, under the stars, with your new spouse beside you. It's magic. Or how about a couple's hula lesson? It's playful, romantic, and a lot more fun than you might think. And trust me, it makes for the cutest inside joke later when one of you tries to recreate the moves. One of my favorite underrated honeymoon activities is doing a private lei-making class together. Not only are you learning a beautiful Hawaiian tradition, but you're creating something by hand together and then exchanging those fragrant, meaningful leis. It's such a sweet, symbolic way to celebrate your new beginning. You can also dive a little deeper into Hawaiian history by visiting places like Pu'uhonua o Honaunau on the Big Island, a sacred site that's incredibly peaceful and moving, or Iolani Palace in Oahu, the only royal palace in the U.S. Even Bishop Museum is a great cultural stop with amazing exhibits that give context to everything you're experiencing in Hawaii. If you're into local art and vibes, spend a few hours in towns like Hanapepe on Kauai. Their Friday night art walk is full of charm, local artists, food trucks, live music. It's a great way to experience Hawaii beyond the resort walls. And if you want a hands-on adventure with cultural roots, try an outrigger canoe paddle tour. You'll learn about ancient Hawaiian navigation and voyaging traditions while working together as a team out on the ocean. It's both thrilling and meaningful. So, my pro tip is to schedule at least 1 or 2 cultural experiences during your honeymoon. Not only do they deepen your connection to Hawaii, but they also give you moments you'll talk about long after the trip ends. Because at the end of the day, your honeymoon isn't just about where you went, it's about what you felt together. Okay, real talk. When you're caught up in the magic of your honeymoon in Hawaii, it's super easy to forget about souvenirs. You're soaking in the sunsets, sipping Mai Tais, swimming in turquoise water, and by the time you remember to buy something meaningful to take home, you're already at the airport gift shop grabbing macadamia nuts and fridge magnets. But here's the thing. Your honeymoon is a once-in-a-lifetime trip. Bringing home a special keepsake is such a beautiful way to remember not just where you went, but how you felt. For something truly timeless, consider picking out matching Hawaiian heirloom bracelets or engraved rings with your initials or wedding date. They're elegant, personal, and they'll always remind you of your time together on the islands. Another super popular idea? Booking a romantic couples photo shoot. Whether it's at McKenna Cove on Maui or Lanikai Beach on Oahu, having professional photos from your honeymoon is such a sweet gift to your future selves. You'll frame them, share them, and smile every time you see them. We always use a lithographer when we book photo shoots in Hawaii, and you can get $25 off if you use the link in the show notes. If you're more into unique art pieces, take a stroll through galleries in Paia, Ka'anapali, or Haleiwa and pick out a local painting or handmade sculpture that speaks to you. It's the kind of thing you'll hang in your home and say, "Remember that amazing day on Kauai?" And for the foodies, bring home Kona coffee, Hawaiian chocolate, or Lilikoi jam. Every morning cup or sweet bite will instantly take you back to those lazy, love-filled mornings in paradise. Want something that feels really Hawaii? How about custom aloha wear from a local designer? Matching outfits for your next tropical getaway or anniversary trip? Or go big with ni'ihau shell jewelry, koa wood carvings, or even a handcrafted ukulele from a local maker like Kamaka. These are the kind of pieces that turn into family heirlooms. Even something like a Hawaiian quilt or throw blanket can be super special. It's cozy, beautiful, and every time you cuddle up on the couch with it, you'll think back to warm breezes, starry nights, and your big first trip as a married couple. So, pro tip, don't just grab souvenirs last minute. Take the time to choose one thing together that feels really meaningful and uniquely you. It'll hold way more sentimental value than 10 little trinkets ever could. And it'll become a treasured reminder of the love and memories you made in Hawaii. All right, up next, let's answer some frequently asked honeymoon questions to make sure you're completely prepared for your romantic getaway. I get these questions all the time, so let's break them down rapid fire style with a little extra insight along the way. All right, how far in advance should we book our accommodations? I always recommend booking 6 to 9 months in advance, especially if you're traveling during peak seasons like summer or the holidays. The best rooms, especially oceanfront suites and honeymoon packages, go fast, and booking early often gets you better rates and more options. Should we island hop or stick to one island? Great question. If you've got 7 days or less, I'd stick to one island so you're not spending too much of your honeymoon at the airport. But if you have 10 days or more, 2 islands is totally doable and a fun way to mix things up. Just make sure to give yourself at least 4 nights on each. Is upgrading to an ocean view room really worth it? Honestly, yes, 100%. Waking up to the sound of the waves and sipping coffee on your lanai while watching the sunrise? So dreamy. It sets the tone for your whole trip and really adds that romantic wow factor. Are there any adult-only resorts in Hawaii? True adult-only resorts are pretty rare in Hawaii, but if that's what you're looking for, Hotel Wailea on Maui is a standout. It's luxurious, peaceful, and designed specifically for couples, perfect for a honeymoon. How much should we budget for meals and drinks? A good ballpark is $100 to $150 per person per day, especially if you're enjoying nice dinners and tropical cocktails. But you can definitely save by mixing in casual beachside spots, happy hours, or grabbing lunch from a local food truck. It's all about balance. Do we really need travel insurance? I'd say yes, especially if you're booking non-refundable experiences or traveling during hurricane season, which is June through November. It's peace of mind if flights get delayed, plans change, or something unexpected pops up. What's the best romantic luau for honeymooners? I'd go with Old Lahaina Luau for its beautiful oceanfront setting and cultural authenticity, or Feast at Mokupu at the Andes Maui if you want something a little bit more upscale and intimate. Both are amazing date night options. Should we book spa treatments during our honeymoon? Absolutely. A couple's massage overlooking the ocean is peak honeymoon vibes. Book early. Those primetime sunset appointments fill up fast. Do resorts offer any special honeymoon perks? Many do. You might get free champagne, welcome lays, room upgrades, spa discounts, or even a surprise treat in your room. The key is to let them know it's your honeymoon when you book and when you check in. A little romance goes a long way in Hawaii. All right, before we say aloha for today, let's do a quick recap of the top honeymoon tips to help you plan an unforgettable, stress-free trip to Hawaii. Book early. From flights and hotels to dinners and spa treatments, early birds get the oceanfront suites. Don't overschedule yourselves. Leave room for beach naps, spontaneous adventures, and romantic slow mornings. Rent a car. You want the freedom to explore hidden beaches, scenic drives, and that cute coffee shop you spotted on the map. Get off the beaten path. Hawaii is so much more than resort life. Small towns and quiet beaches are where the magic happens. Budget realistically, and give yourselves permission for a few splurges. It's your honeymoon. Make key reservations early. Those romantic dinners and spa spots fill up fast. Tell everyone it's your honeymoon, from your hotel to your tour guides. You never know what kind of sweet surprises you'll get. Give yourself extra time between activities. Hawaii is all about that slower pace. Embrace it. Include cultural experiences like a luau, lei making, or visiting sacred sites. It adds so much meaning to your trip. And pick a keepsake that matters, something you'll look at years from now and instantly smile. And hey, if you want a little extra help pulling it all together, I've created stress-free digital and printed honeymoon planning guides and 7-day itineraries for Oahu, Maui, Kauai, and the Big Island. They're packed with insider tips, ready-to-go plans, and all the romance built in. I'll link them in the show notes. If you found this episode helpful, it would mean so much if you'd subscribe, leave a quick review, or share it with another couple dreaming of a Hawaiian honeymoon. Thanks for spending time with me today. Mahalo for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Aloha.